Ever heard that little voice in your head? The one that whispers, what if they laugh at you? What if you fail? It's the voice of the critic, sitting comfortably on the sidelines, pointing out every flaw, every stumble. But here's a truth that can change everything. The critic doesn't count. There's a famous speech by Theodore Roosevelt, delivered over a century ago, that hits harder today than ever before. It's called The Man in the Arena. And it's not about presidents or generals. It's about you. It's about me. It's about anyone who has ever dared to try something difficult. Roosevelt said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better." Think about that. The person who just comments, who just judges from a distance, their opinion is worthless. The real credit, the real honor, belongs to the person who is actually in the arena. Who is this person? Roosevelt describes them vividly. Whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. This is the reality of trying. It's messy. It's not a highlight reel. It's the day in, day out grind. Let's bring this into our world. Think about the entrepreneur, pouring their life savings and sleepless nights into a startup. They launch their product, and maybe the first version is a bit clunky. The online comments are brutal. This will never work. What a waste of time. The critics are loud. But who is in the arena? The founder, the one who is learning, iterating, and pushing forward despite the dust and sweat, the one who's actually building something. The critic is just typing. Or what about the person starting their fitness journey? They walk into a gym for the first time, feeling self-conscious, unsure of how to use the equipment. They look around and imagine everyone is staring, judging their form, judging their very presence. That's the critic in their own head, and maybe in the side glances of others. But who is in the arena? The person lifting the weight, however light it may be. The person on the treadmill, however slow they may be going. They're the ones marred by sweat, striving valiantly to be better than they were yesterday. The credit belongs to them, not the person who's been working out for years and scoffs. This isn't just about business or fitness. It applies to our most personal, emotional battles. Think about the person who finally decides to face their anxiety, to go to therapy, to have that difficult conversation they've been avoiding for years. Their hands might be shaking, their voice might crack. They might not say everything perfectly. There might be tears, but they are in the arena, fighting a battle that no one else can see. The friend who says, "Just get over it," or "You're being too sensitive." That's the critic. They're not in the ring. They don't understand the fight. So, why are we so afraid of these critics? It's deep-seated psychology. As social creatures, the fear of judgment, the fear of being cast out of the group, is a powerful, primal instinct. Our brains are literally wired to avoid shame and ridicule. This fear kept our ancestors safe in the tribe. But today, it often just keeps us small. It keeps us on the sidelines, where it's safe, but where nothing ever grows. On the other side of this psychological coin is the desire for glory. And I don't mean fame or fortune. I mean the quiet, internal glory of knowing you gave it your all. The satisfaction of looking at yourself in the mirror, bruised and tired, and knowing you didn't quit. This is the reward Roosevelt talks about. He says, "The man in the arena at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." Read that last part again. Cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. That's the true risk. It's not failing. The true risk is living a life so safe, so shielded from criticism, that you never experience the thrill of the fight. You never know the pure joy of victory because you were too afraid of the possibility of defeat. You become a spectator in your own life. Think about it. Who do we admire? The people who played it safe their whole lives? Or the ones who took the risk? Steve Jobs was fired from the company he created. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Their arenas were different, but they all had one thing in common. They were covered in dust and sweat. They failed, and they got back up. Their critics are footnotes in their stories. So how do we apply this? How do we step into our own arena? First, you have to define your arena. What is the fight you need to be in? Is it starting that YouTube channel you've been dreaming of? Is it writing that book? Is it asking for that promotion? Is it finally learning that new skill? Or is it the quiet battle of becoming a more patient parent, a more present partner? Be specific. Name it. Second, accept that you will get dirty. You will make mistakes. You will look foolish at times. That's not a sign of failure. It's a sign that you are in the game. When you launch that first video and it only gets 10 views, that's not a failure. That's the first round. When you try a new recipe and it burns, that's the first attempt. The dust and sweat are part of the uniform. Wear them with pride. Third, and this is the hardest part, you have to mute the critics, especially the one inside your own head. When that voice starts whispering doubts, remind yourself, the critic doesn't count. Their opinion is irrelevant. The only opinion that matters is of the person who is brave enough to try. You are that person. Surround yourself with other people in the arena, people who are also striving and stumbling. They won't judge you. They'll hand you a water bottle and cheer you on, because they know what it takes. The world is full of critics. They're on social media, they're in the news, sometimes they're at our own dinner table. It is the easiest thing in the world to sit back and judge. It requires no courage, no skill, no sacrifice. What takes real courage is to step over the ropes and into the ring, to face the possibility of getting knocked down, of being embarrassed, of failing publicly. But that is where life is truly lived. It's in the striving, the effort, the comeback. So, the next time you feel that fear of judgment holding you back, I want you to remember Roosevelt's words. Remember the man in the arena. Are you going to be a cold and timid soul on the sidelines? Or are you going to be the one whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who dares greatly, and who knows that even in failure, there is an honor that the critic will never understand? The choice is yours. The arena is waiting. Thanks for watching. If this message resonated with you, give it a like and subscribe for more content to help you step into your own arena. See you in the next one.